Hello guys, I'm rolling for the plot triggered after chapter 3 of Black Myth Wukong. I feel like it's a kind of complicated story and I'm gonna share some of my thoughts and observations. The disciple of Buddhism transformed into a monster and came to the small village, bestowing upon the villagers gold, silver, and treasures, and calling wind and rain to save the people from disaster. In the end, he was killed by greedy villagers and turned into a terrifying zombie. And the root of all this came from a gambling game in Buddhism. This is a story of the ending cutscene of chapter 3 of Black Myth Wukong, and the name of this chapter is Why Dew Forms at Night. The sky was dark and clouded. The thunder was rumbling. All of a sudden, a huge and ugly-looking old turtle was salvaged by villagers. The villagers brought the old turtle back to the town. He opened his eyes and saw the villagers and officials with fearful and curious look. He twitched a little bit and his long nails scratched his skin. Gold, silver, and juice flowed out of his wound. This is a poor and impoverished small town. The old turtle was carried to the town. He seemed to make a Buddhist gesture. The medicine he took out can cure a dying child. The mucus he secreted can make people young and beautiful. He can build a house with just a wave of his hand. If he looked up, the sky would change. He became the guardian angel of the small town. People went to worship him one and after. Soldiers and monks built a temple and a statue, attracting people to pray. The small town have gained faith since then. The turtle also took something in return. He really liked the delicious fish and fruits provided by villagers, and he would make their dreams come true. Monks were like bookkeeping, merchants were weighing, officials were distributing, all people were following the rules. The old turtle cut through his skin, and the gold and silver flipped out. He was focused on eating delicious food and didn't notice a villager running over and stabbing him with a knife. People were so scared. The turtle was so painful. The gold and silver were all over the place. Greedy villagers were robbing. Officials wanted to stop but failed. They tore apart the skin of the old turtle. Treasure kept flowing out. People were not even crazier. Officials also joined them. The turtle was falling down and dying. People like so crazy. They celebrating around the fire. Looking from the sky, the town looked like the shape of the turtle's eye. Many years later, the small town has turned into ruins. The bones of the turtle were there standing on the shore. A monk walking over from a distance, speaking to the bones. You have been gone for so long. The bones were also speaking. Hey, Jin Chanzi, I won again this time. The monk says, you are so obsessed with winning and losing, so ridiculous and pathetic. The turtle says, if I can't win, how could I prove the cause and effect?
若不能赢，还长什么因果人心？
This is the end of the story. According to the plot of the game we know, the old turtle is the Huang Mei king. He said something in the game. Long time ago, Jin Chanzi and I were fellow disciples, and I have to say, this is all useless for those people who go get scriptures. He denied the concept of Jin Chanzi, acted the same as what the old turtle did in the story. Also, Huang Mei King had a conversation with Buddha. Buddha says, the suffering of human beings is often caused by indulging in desires and not following the rules. Huang Mei says, that's bullshit. All these showed Huang Mei's concepts in believing human nature is inherently evil, corresponding to what he attempted to prove in the cartoon story. Officials and monks were together to monopolize and control wealth, objective idealism, the fragility of idle beliefs. Looks like the cartoon story is to explore the goodness and badness of human nature. Actually, the root cause is still the conflict of ideas between Huang Mei and Jin Chanzi. Huang Mei strongly believes in his theory of evil in human nature. So he came to the town and ran an experiment. He got what he wanted to get, which is human nature cannot be tested. Proved his idea of human nature evil. It looks reasonable, doesn't it? But he was wrong. And because he was wrong at the very beginning, that made the town ended up like this. Let's take a look at what Jin Chanzi said, causing chaos in people's hearts. Put the cart before the horse. What kind of cause you plant will bear what kind of fruit. If you lure the poor with money, they will fall for it. If you seduce lustful people with beauty, they will be tempted. If you lure the professional with knowledge, they will also be curious. Humans definitely cannot resist it. Temptation. Humans definitely can't resist temptation. Is human nature evil because they can't resist temptation? Isn't learning and seeking knowledge also a desire? If it were for the rich creating differentiation, would the poor be eager for money? The old turtle deliberately tempted the poor with money to prove the theory of human nature evil. Isn't it misleading? What kind of person do you think others are? Then what kind of people you do see in others? On the contrary, if you think objectively, fairly, and rationally, look at things from a micro perspective of society. Only then can you truly understand this world. What Huang Mei said sounds like reasonable, but when we look at the reality just like the cartoon story, the villagers were greedy for money because they were so afraid of poverty. But why they were so poor? It's because they had no control for food and money. Return to the end of the story. Huang Mei said, if he can win, how can he prove the cause and effect? His saying indicates that he just got into misunderstanding. He wanted to prove the humanity he believes. in reality, there's not something that needs to be proved. What Wukong said, if he can win, how can he prove the cause and effect? This is his thoughts expressing his characteristics. At the same time, it also tells the audience that he just can't go beyond his own thinking and break free from his own obsession. Actually, there is no need to explore the good and the evil of human nature. If human nature is evil, but you're also human, what can you do? So you kill yourself? Or you're like Wukong, making excuses for yourself doing evil and indulging yourself in doing something bad? If human nature is good, but what can you do? You would feel different than other people? I think we should be like Jing Chanzi, spreading and persisting in one's own goodness. That's actually the right thing to do. And that's all for today. I hope my sharing can give you some inspiration. And really, thank you for watching. Stay tuned and bye.